So to understand what philosophy is, this video right here is going to kind of go over what the module is if I were standing in front of you in a classroom. And I just want to go over a couple of key things. So if you got 5 minutes, I could explain to you what the module is in terms of understanding Western philosophy. So here we go. So there's a couple of key things to understand about Western philosophy, why there's such a focus on it in the United States. Well, I wouldn't just say the United States. I would say most of the analytical side of thinking. Western and Eastern, that kind of implies that there's some type of geographical divide. It's more like a mindset divide. When we talk about Western philosophy, we're talking about analytical, we're talking about reason. And reason is much different than, for example, faith. If you're someone who's religious and you ascribe to a religious order such as Hinduism or Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, you're a part of a religious order and a faith, and how you think is usually dictated by those dogmas and doctrines and sacred texts. So when we say Western philosophy, we're not discussing a philosophy of life that is in those realms. We are talking about a philosophy of life that is seeking rational thought. And rational thought is just anything that goes from A to B in a very logical, in a very objective way. And there's no bias attached to it. There's no prejudice attached to it. There is no education or culture attached to it. What that rational philosophy is looking for is something that is completely untouched by any of our reality around us. So that's really, really hard. And but that's something that they strive to do. Can you pluck yourself out of your reality and how you view the world and see something with objective eyes? And that's what this module is all about. It starts to talk about the origins of Western philosophy. It talks about doing philosophy and the nature of philosophy in this lane. So, for example, take a dog. I have dogs my entire life. I've had cats my entire life. And when I'm sitting outside with my German Shepherd dog on leashed, people walking by are a little scared. Um, they assume there's some that assume that my dog will charge them and bark at them and bite them. But I see a different dog. I see Maggie, who is a huge German Shepherd dog who is a lover. While she barks at leaves all the time, and she'll bark at that Amazon driver, I know that she won't do anything. But I'll also if I stepped out of that cultural bubble and talked rationally with someone, they could argue, look, these aren't people. These are animals. And there's an instinct in them sometimes. They might sense something you don't. And 99 times out of 100, your dog might just sit on the lawn and bark. But there's that one time instinct might override and they do charge someone and they do bark. So I would have to start logically thinking like, okay, well, what's the nature of a dog? What's the purpose and the function of a dog? What makes a dog and not a cat? You know, what's the difference between a dog raised in a specific household versus a dog raised in a different household? And that inner dialogue about what is the nature of a dog is me trying to understand and do philosophy. I am trying to figure out what something is without putting stuff on it because we have a very subjective brain. We have so much attached to it. So that's what this module is going to kind of explore. You're going to explore the pre-Socratics. They were men in Greece who were guided by the gods and then just kind of thought to themselves, okay, so the gods gave us water, but why? Where'd it come from? What is it? What's fire? What's right? What's wrong? Is something right just because the gods said so? Or could it be right if the gods didn't exist? Could we exist without the gods? So that's the origins of what we call Western philosophy. That should be called like the origins of rational thought. Can we exist outside of an empire? Can we exist outside of a god? Outside of a king, a queen? What's the nature of a monarchy? What's the nature of democracy? Um, and that questioning is understanding philosophy. So you'll have a couple of assignments where I try to push you into understanding just the bare nature of something without all of that attached to it. Uh, I try to get you to understand philosophy as a verb. It's an active thing that we're doing. We're questioning why, trying to remove ourselves from that kind of fishbowl water of everything that's been given to you. Everything that's been given to you, you want to question. And that's reason. Reason is questioning. Reason is not being satisfied with an answer until you reach objective wisdom. So that's what this topic's about, or this module is about. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm here for you.